For decades, the world has grappled with the looming threat of climate change and the urgent need to transition to cleaner, renewable energy sources. Yet, despite overwhelming scientific evidence and growing public concern, our global economy remains heavily dependent on fossil fuels. This paradox begs the question, why haven't we made more progress in shifting away from these harmful energy sources? The answer, as it turns out, lies in a complex web of political influence, economic incentives, and deliberate misinformation campaigns orchestrated by some of the world's most powerful corporations. At the heart of this issue is a billion-dollar conspiracy, carefully crafted and meticulously executed by the fossil fuel industry. This network of oil, gas, and coal companies has spent astronomical sums to maintain their grip on the global energy market, effectively stalling the transition to renewable energy and keeping consumers dependent on their products. The roots of this conspiracy can be traced back to the 1970s, when scientists first began sounding the alarm about the potential consequences of burning fossil fuels. Internal documents from major oil companies reveal that their own researchers had reached similar conclusions, warning executives about the link between fossil fuel consumption and climate change. However, instead of heeding these warnings and pivoting towards more sustainable practices, these companies chose a different path. They embarked on a massive disinformation campaign, pouring millions of dollars into think tanks, lobbying groups, and pseudo-scientific organizations. The goal was simple: to sow doubt about the reality of climate change and the role of fossil fuels in driving it. This strategy, borrowed from the tobacco industry's playbook, proved remarkably effective in delaying meaningful action on climate change for decades. But the conspiracy extends far beyond mere propaganda. The fossil fuel industry has wielded its considerable financial power to influence political decisions at every level of government. Through strategic campaign contributions and an army of well-paid lobbyists, these companies have shaped energy policies to their advantage, securing billions in subsidies and tax breaks while blocking legislation that would support renewable energy development. The extent of this political influence is staggering. In the United States alone, the fossil fuel industry has spent over $2 billion on lobbying since 2000, outspending environmental groups and renewable energy advocates by a factor of 10 to 1. This massive disparity in political spending has resulted in a regulatory environment that continues to favor fossil fuels, despite their well-documented environmental and health costs. Moreover, the industry has worked tirelessly to maintain its stronghold on global energy infrastructure. By investing heavily in pipelines, refineries, and distribution networks, fossil fuel companies have created a system that is deeply entrenched and difficult to replace. This infrastructure lock-in serves as a significant barrier to the widespread adoption of renewable energy technologies, even as they become increasingly cost-competitive. The conspiracy also extends to the realm of public perception. Through carefully crafted marketing campaigns and strategic partnerships, fossil fuel companies have attempted to rebrand themselves as environmentally conscious entities. They tout investments in carbon capture technology and renewable energy projects, while simultaneously expanding their fossil fuel operations. This greenwashing serves to confuse consumers and create a false sense of progress, further delaying meaningful action on climate change. Perhaps most insidiously, the fossil fuel industry has sought to shift the burden of responsibility onto individual consumers. By promoting the concept of a personal carbon footprint and emphasizing individual actions like recycling or using energy-efficient appliances, they've deflected attention from the systemic changes needed to address climate change effectively. While these individual actions are important, they pale in comparison to the impact of continued fossil fuel extraction and consumption. The consequences of this conspiracy are dire. As we continue to burn fossil fuels at an alarming rate, global temperatures rise, extreme weather events become more frequent, and ecosystems collapse. The human cost is equally devastating, with air pollution from fossil fuels contributing to millions of premature deaths each year. Yet despite the overwhelming evidence of harm, the fossil fuel industry continues to thrive, propped up by a system it has spent billions to maintain. Breaking free from this dependence will require a concerted effort to expose the true extent of the industry's influence and to demand accountability from both corporations and politicians. As consumers and citizens, We must see through the smokescreen of misinformation and greenwashing. We must push for policies that accelerate the transition to renewable energy and hold fossil fuel companies accountable for the damage they've caused. Only by understanding and confronting this billion-dollar conspiracy can we hope to break free from our dependence on fossil fuels and build a sustainable future for generations to come.